Are we reaching a turning point in terms of the teams promoted from the EFL into the Premier League actually being able to compete? It's been a heinous 3 years. We're into year 4 of the 17, and the same 3 teams from the EFL going up and down and up and down and up again. But if ever there was a time to be optimistic, and believe me, I haven't been optimistic about this, it is right now, because at the weekend, for the first time in seemingly forever, all 3 of the promoted teams, Sunderland, Leeds and Burnley, won in the Premier League. And currently Sunderland are 4th, Leeds are 15th, Burnley are 16th. We have a 5-point gap for Burnley to relegation, a 6-point gap to Leeds, and by God, Sunderland have got a 12-point gap. Let me know your initial thoughts down there in the comments. This is all coming off the back of a great chat with Matt SB and Conor McGilligan over on Conor's channel on 3 at the Back today. We will link that video at the end of this little kind of thought bubble from me in the wake of, just me going on there and being really, really happy about what we're seeing right now. What I need from you, though, is a reality check. Is it really getting easier? Is it really a turning point? Is this just an outlier right now and things are going to regress back to normal by the end of the season? Or could it just be an outlier season and things will be, back to normal next season? Let me know your thoughts. I want positivity, but I also want realism. But it was a great weekend, wasn't it? Burnley, they got a win at Wolves. Yes, I hear you. Wolves have been struggling, but Burnley have now gone back to back. And that's something, as well as 3 wins in one round for the 3 promoted teams. Back-to-back wins are so hard. We had Zian Fleming getting a couple of goals, and then Burnley snatching that one late in the day. Yes, I accept that Wolves are stinking the place out at the moment, but think to where we were last season, and my God, it was a long winter, and then just a long run in with no competition really for Ipswich and Leicester and Southampton last year. And Burnley have very much given themselves a chance here. Yes, I accept that. Well, take this either way. They're winning head-to-head games, Burnley. They've beaten Sunderland, who are a promoted team. They've beaten Leeds, who are a promoted team. They've beaten Wolves, who are bottom. On the one hand, that's good because they're winning head-to-heads and 6-pointers. Use whatever language you're comfortable with. On the other hand, it's bad because if that is the peak of their powers, that means they're the only games that Burnley are going to win, and they'll struggle against the mid-table, and they'll obviously be handily beaten by the teams up the top, and they will be relegated. But let's hope that is very much not the case. Remember, this is a Burnley team that had a freakishly good defence in the Championship. Scott Parker, I've had to defend a lot on the channel over the years. Fulham fans, Bournemouth fans, even Burnley fans last year have not been 1,000% convinced by Mr. Parker, but I think in the current climate after recent seasons, if he keeps Burnley in, then maybe his stock will rise to where it should be. I don't know. You tell me in the comments. Talk to me about Burnley, where they are, where they're going to be. Is it a good sign? The 5-point gap, they're above a point per game, 10 points from 9 games, so they're tracking for over 38, which will surely keep them in the division, won't it? Or is this, as I say, the height of their power, and they will have to play those promotion head-to-heads away? They've already played Leeds and Sunderland at Turf Moor. Which way around do you see it? And this is one of those situations where I give you a binary, and it kind of is a binary. They're either staying above the dotted line or they're going under it. It's one or the other. Leeds are one place above Burnley in the table. They had a great win against West Ham. And yes, let's say the same sort of things that West Ham are really struggling at the moment. But Leeds are ticking a lot of boxes for me. And it's so hard to win games in the Premier League when you're a promoted team. and often you need to get 2 goals up, else it goes into a stressful defending a 1-goal lead, and then any member of the 17, whoever you're playing, is going to bring on 3, 4, 5 incredible subs to try and get that goal back and turn the game. Leeds got 2 goals up early against West Ham, leveraging set plays nicely, and they managed it well. They had to manage like 15 minutes stoppage time in the first half and a late West Ham goal, and you kind of look at it and think, oh dear, don't let this go 2-2 now, Leeds. Don't throw it away. And I think lots to be positive about. Leeds now have the expensive keeper they signed. That's been such a big thing in terms of the promoted teams. Get that goalkeeping position right, because when these teams are under pressure, all you want is the keeper not to crumble. Just save the shots you're going to save. And if you get pummeled and they're putting them in the top corner and et cetera, fine, whatever. But just be reliable. We didn't have that, and we certainly haven't had that from the keepers down at the bottom. They have crumbled in the face of great pressure. Admittedly, the big centre-back Biol is in and playing. They look like they got a tune out of James Justin as well as a substitute, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front. So some of the recruitment looks like it's working. Elland Road is looking a good place in terms of wins already against West Ham and Everton, and they beat, obviously, Wolves on the road as well. We did have a clean sheet at home against Newcastle as well, and a real near miss against a very good Bournemouth side who are currently up, I think, second, all the way up at the top. Yeah, they are second in the table at the moment. Just some really positive signs from Leeds. Lots of, look, even from outside of the Leeds fan base, I think there's a suspicion over Daniel Farke, who is clearly brilliant at championship level and has now won the title 3 times, which is, I think is pretty inarguable that he's a brilliant championship manager with what he's done. Norwich, and Leeds now there. And even in the season he missed out there with Leeds, he came mighty close and got to the playoff final and scored 90 plus points, didn't he? As well. I think there's a question, can he do it at Premier League level? And we're seeing a bit of an adaptation, aren't we? Maybe a little less naivety in terms of that you can't just take what you had in the Championship and assume that's going to work in the Premier League, and maybe an extra man deeper in midfield, a bit more physicality. I think it's looking pretty good. And let's be honest, we talk about Sunderland in a sec, and they've really pushed the boat out in terms of signings, but Farke hasn't had an incredible amount of incomings and a bit of make do and mend, and appears to be doing a good job. Can Leeds keep winning at home? Can they keep getting a tune out of their new recruits? Can they keep managing games that they are in, i.e. seeing through a 1-0 against Everton and getting 2 up against West Ham? A few more of them and it will indeed be happy days. But happy days is, by God, what Sunderland fans are having at the moment. And whilst when we talk about Burnley and Leeds, it's kind of realistic. We're not in fairyland with those two sides. It's like, okay, we're on the edge here. We've got the point per game. That's great. We've got some positive news. And then there's a lot of ifs, buts and maybes. And then there's Fulham and Forest. And you're like, ooh, how hard is it going to be to stay above them? And then there's West Ham and Wolves, and they look like they're going to give a chance. If West Ham and Wolves stay down there, then one of Leeds and Burnley will definitely stay up. That's how the numbers work with 3 going down. But let's switch to Sunderland, who are just miles away from it. And we're getting to the point with Sunderland, not that we can ever pack up and say that it's done. You know what it's like. You know how hard the Premier League is. But Sunderland have 17 points. They won at Chelsea. And it's always incredible when a newly promoted team goes and wins, say, at a Champions League team. Chelsea up in that massively high standard. And they nicked the goal at the end, but I don't think Sunderland nicked the game, did they? I think they had a game plan and it worked. It's obviously easy to stick to a game plan when the game plan works and you're in the game and you're able to equalise that opening goal from Garnacho and then stay in it. And it's a 3 at the back can be a 5, and then right back moving into midfield to try and block that up in possession. And, when you need to double up against some good wingers against Chelsea and hang in there. Good goalkeeper, Good set play, scored from a set play. Again, substitutes working an absolute treat. And Sunderland are in dreamland up there in 4th spot. What does it mean for the long term? Look, it doesn't make the slightest bit of difference in terms of Sunderland how difficult these next, how many games is there left? 29 games there are. They're the same level of difficulty whether you've scored 17 points or 2 points. It's going to be hard for Sunderland, but they haven't half built themselves some confidence, made the rest of the league take them far more seriously, and haven't they built themselves some margin for error here? Do we need, say 34 points is a nice number to reach? Sunderland, I don't think they'll do it because it's been a ridiculous start. Sunderland are on track to reach 34 points by the time we get to the halfway point in the season, game 18, or one game before the halfway point. So, look, if their output is half as good as it is now, so then you can add on another, let's round it up to 9 points rather than 8.5, then they're at 26 points at game 18. And look, just get over the line. Get 3-4 more wins, a few draws, then draws are okay. You're not worried about if you conceded a lead to draw a game, that's going to be the killer. They have built themselves an incredible foundation. And we discussed this on 3 at the Back. I'll put the link up in a minute. There cannot be anyone who, since last June, July, when, I can't remember the exact date when Regis Labrise came in at Sunderland, who's done a better job. How can he have done a better job? Sunderland were not favourites for promotion. They got to 4th place, below 3 parachute teams above them. They won the playoffs against one of the parachute teams, Sheffield United, in the final. They come into the Premier League, they rebuild, or add to, use whatever language you're comfortable with, build a new squad there at the Stadium of Light. And here they are. They've laid down a massively strong foundation to keep them in the Premier League. And we think that if you do last season 1, just stay up for one season at the moment, that makes it exponentially easier once you're looking at 2 years of £100 million TV money in a row as opposed to 1 and having to bounce back with the parachute payments. So Sunderland, incredible. Leeds and Burnley looking good. None of them in the bottom 3. Yes, I know there's still an absolute chasm between the Championship and the Premier League in terms of that TV money. We literally just mentioned it. So we could have a situation where 1, God, if it was 2, that would be great. 2 of them stay up. Does that change things incredibly in terms of the hierarchy? The 3 that go down will then be strong favourites to go up, and the 3 that have come up then become strong favourites to go back down again. But I think all anybody was asking is for a little bit of hope, a little bit of life, a little bit of jeopardy. Leeds and Burnley are giving us that, and Sunderland are giving us absolute dreamland. So for those people who, like me, were saying this is boring, it needs to be more competitive, it's too hard. Even if it is one season of it, let's try and enjoy it. And even if it is a little bit of an outlier now and things regress to the mean, and come on, surely we're going to get one stay up this season and we only get the one. Is that a good thing? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comments. Are we reaching a turning point? And click up here to see a great conversation, a full conversation about all of these teams and the relegation picture in the Premier League. It's 3 at the Back on the Conor McGilligan channel with myself, Connor, and the great Matt SB.